Why do some officers lead from the front while others hide behind policy? Fort Hood, summer of 2009. Our battalion had two captains who couldn't have been more different. Captain Preston Vance ran Alpha Company. West Point graduate, always in a pressed uniform, spoke in regulations and policy letters. Every decision went through proper channels. Every problem got solved with paperwork. Captain Wade Nichols ran Bravo Company. ROTC guy from some state school. Uniform usually had dust on it. Solved problems by showing up personally. The difference became crystal clear during a training exercise in July. We were doing a 48-hour field problem in 100-degree heat. 3 days in, half of Alpha Company went down with heat exhaustion. Captain Vance's response? Called battalion headquarters from his air-conditioned command vehicle, filed an incident report, requested guidance on proper procedures for mass casualty situations. Meanwhile, his soldiers were lying in the dirt waiting for medics. Captain Nichols heard about it on the radio, drove his Humvee straight to Alpha Company's location, started carrying soldiers to shade himself, grabbed IV bags from the medical supplies and helped the medics get fluids running. When Vance finally showed up, Nichols was soaked in sweat, hauling his fifth soldier to the aid station. "This isn't your company, Captain," Vance said. "I have the situation under control." Nichols looked at him. "Your soldiers are dying in the sun while you're filing paperwork. Someone had to actually help them." Vance filed a formal complaint. Said Nichols had overstepped his authority, violated chain of command, interfered with another company's operations. Battalion commander held a meeting, both captains present. "Captain Vance, explain your actions during the heat casualty incident." Vance pulled out his notes. "Sir, I followed proper protocol. Notified higher headquarters, documented the incident, requested medical support through official channels." "How long did that take?" "Approximately 23 minutes, sir." "And during those 23 minutes, what were you doing physically?" Vance hesitated. "Coordinating the response, sir." "From where?" "My command vehicle, sir." The commander turned to Nichols. "And you?" "Carried soldiers to shade, sir. Helped run IVs, whatever the medics needed." "That wasn't your company." "No, sir, but they were my soldiers. We all wear the same uniform." The commander was quiet for a moment. Then he made his decision. "Captain Vance, you're relieved of command effective immediately. Captain Nichols will assume command of both companies until we find Vance a replacement." Vance went pale. "Sir, I followed every regulation. I did everything by the book." "The book doesn't save lives, Captain. Leaders do. You're reassigned to battalion staff. Dismissed." 3 months later, we deployed to Iraq. Nichols commanded both companies, nearly 300 soldiers, led every single patrol personally for the first month. One night, our convoy hit an IED. Vehicle 3 caught the blast. Nichols was in Vehicle 1, safest position up front. He could have stayed there, could have coordinated the response from safety, called for backup, let the other soldiers handle it. Instead, he grabbed a fire extinguisher and ran straight to the burning vehicle. Pulled out 3 soldiers while ammunition cooked off inside. Took shrapnel in his leg doing it, but didn't stop until everyone was clear. Got a Bronze Star with Valor. Promoted to Major 6 months later. We heard Vance got kicked out eventually. Failed his battalion staff job, couldn't adapt. Last anyone knew, he was working some corporate compliance position in Virginia. But here's the part nobody expected. 5 years after that deployment, Nichols showed up to a change of command ceremony at Fort Benning. Guess who the incoming battalion commander was? Lieutenant Colonel Wade Nichols. Same guy who'd carried soldiers in the heat. Same guy who ran into burning vehicles. During his speech, someone asked him about his leadership philosophy. "Some officers think their job is to manage paperwork and enforce policy. They're wrong. Your job is to bring your soldiers home alive. Everything else is just details." Afterward, one of the young lieutenants asked him about Captain Vance. "Sir, whatever happened to that guy?" Nichols pulled out his phone, showed us a Facebook message from Preston Vance. "Saw you made Lieutenant Colonel. Congratulations. You were right that day. I was more worried about looking good than doing good. Spent 5 years in the private sector learning what leadership actually means. Hoping to come back in as a reservist. Think you could write me a recommendation?" Nichols had written it, 3 pages long. Got Vance back in the army as a reserve captain. "Everyone deserves a second chance to get it right," Nichols said. "Even the ones who hide behind policy learn eventually. Some just take longer than others." Last I heard, Vance is running a reserve unit in Texas. Does things differently now. When his soldiers have problems, he shows up in person. Learned it from the guy who relieved him of command.